In one of the editions of the morning show, viewers witnessed one of the most intense political face-offs yet, as Rufai Oseni appeared determined to give Daniel Bwala what many online are already calling the Hassan Mehdi treatment. The atmosphere became heated the moment Daniel Bwala stepped into the studio for the exclusive interview, because Rufai wasted no time digging deep into Bwala's old statements against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC government. For many Nigerians watching, the biggest question was simple. How does a man who once heavily criticized Tinubu now turn around to defend the same administration with full confidence? Rufai Oseni came fully prepared with receipts, old comments, and strong questions aimed at forcing Daniel Bwala to explain the sharp political turnaround. But as expected, Bwala did not back down. He stood his ground, defended the policies of the Tinubu government, and insisted that joining the administration was based on conviction, national interest, and a better understanding of governance from the inside. The conversation quickly turned into a serious battle of words. Rufai pressed harder, reminding viewers of several strong remarks Bwala made in the past against Tinubu and the APC, while Bwala fired back with explanations, political reasoning, and bold confidence. At one point, Bwala even declared openly that he has never been afraid of appearing on Arise TV, no matter how difficult the questions may be. The tension in the studio kept rising as both men refused to give each other breathing space. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the kind of political interview Nigerians love to see. No soft questions, no hiding place, and no escaping past statements. You can literally feel the pressure in the studio as Rufai Oseni kept demanding answers, while Daniel Bwala continued defending himself and the government with everything he had. So sit back, relax, and watch this explosive interview for yourself. Pay close attention to every response, every comeback, and every moment, because immediately after the interview, I'll be right back with full breakdown and detailed analysis of everything that happened in that studio.
Clip, because you came in with a bang and you said you're a presidential spokesman, but Mr. Bayo and Anuga and the other people in the team recorrected you and they redirected the position. I'll ask you two questions. Number one, what is your relationship like with them? Do you have the access? Is your office in the villa? Do you have that level of full access? Do you still have that access with President Tinubu? Or that little back and forth has pushed you down the pecking order because they now changed you, so special advisor on policy comes, which a lot of people said it was a demotion for public relations. But I also ask you, Mr. Bwala, my friend and brother, what are you doing in this government? Wait, let me finish now. Let me finish. Hold on. Just, what are you doing in this government? The same government that in an Arise interview in 2013, you described as president-select rather than president-elect, accusing INEC of manipulation and all of that. You are saying you were in court to say that it was a rigged process. Those were your words. You had casted many doubts on the veracity of this government. You had said a lot of things against this government. So the question is, a lot of people are asking, what are you doing in the same government at some point that you said, if they vote for APC, it will be like going to a night of 1,000 laughs?
So thank you for having me. First of all, I do not think by 2013 you were recruited here. As at 2013, I think sometime around 2013 was when Arise TV launched in London. And at the time, I'm not sure you were with Arise. So first premise, mentioning of 2013 is wrong. And I have been appearing on Arise TV right from UK, even before the Nigerian Arise TV station also was open. Charles Anegolu will confirm, Andrew will confirm. So that one is one. The second one
2023. It's 2023 you said these things, but
no, you just said 2013.
It could be a slip of tongue. It's 2023
no,
you said
first admit that you were wrong, that you slip of tongue.
Bwala, I know your deflection tactics.
No,
you can't play me at the game.
Did you or did you not say 2013?
Go straight ahead. Answer the questions.
I'm not writing jam here.
Answer the questions. Answer the questions,
Bwala. Did you say 2013 or did you not say 2013?
It could have been a slip of tongue.
Okay, then allow me to go ahead.
The truth is, go ahead. Don't deflect. answer the question.
No, there's not. See,
no, it's a deflection tactics. Go ahead.
See, let me tell you what cannot happen here.
Yes, what cannot happen?
Is that you cannot control me or talk to me like a secondary school student.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Bwala.
If you ask a question,
answer the question
and listen to the answer.
Yes.
So that's the first correction.
Yeah.
The second correction has to do with what you wanted to know about the activities in Bwala. Ordinarily, I would have said it's none of your business, but I will help you. My office is 101 in the State House, Presidential Bwala. I'm a special advisor to the president. Was initially announced as special advisor, media and public communication, redesigned to special advisor, policy communication, status special advisor, no demotion, the same. I have unfettered access with the president. Last week, we had a meeting. Let us throw that one off the corner. You said Sunday Dare and Bayo Ononuga corrected me. That's wrong. It's a press statement that was issued from the presidency. There was no specific individual that corrected.
Why did you call yourself presidential spokesman?
Let me finish. I am still a presidential spokesman.
Okay.
Yeah. The statement that was issued said that instead of one, there are 3 presidential spokesmen.
Okay.
Let us throw these ones that are not relevant. The reason I'm here today is because I have never been afraid to appear on Arise TV. I have been a friend of this TV station, and like I said when I began, I appear on Arise in London and here. During your gossip section, you call it stories trending.
No. It's not gossip. Yeah. It's public opinion.
You call it, I have opinion, the same way you express your opinion, I'm expressing mine.
But it's not gossip.
The gentle lady here, Ayo, insinuated by what she said, let him come here, as if I am running away from coming to this station. It is for that singular reason. I tweeted, I said, that is innuendo. Fix a date and time, I'll be here, and I will come to the Lagos studio to answer your question.
Very good. True to time. So answer the second question I asked you.
What is the second question?
The same government you said all those things about.
Yes.
That Tinubu didn't win this, then all of that. That processes were shambolic. You were speaking for
everything.
Yes. You admit you said those things against this government. Why are you still serving in this same government? Good. The government you call the night of 1,000 laughs if they get elected. Why are you serving in? Are you part of the joke?
So if you ask the question, you wait for me to answer.
Go ahead, Bwala.
Good. I was in the opposition.
Yes.
In case you don't know, the role of the opposition is to oppose the government. In doing so, you de-emphasize the strength of the government and emphasize your strength. Where they have strength, you allow them to argue their matter. They rest their case on their strength and not on the weakness of the opposition. When I made a decision on the 10th of January, and after I visited the president, from that day till date, I speak well of the president and I support his activities. Now you ask, I spoke. Can I have water to drink, please?
Sure.
Yeah, please get him water.
You said I spoke against
him. You said a lot of things. You delegitimized him. You said it was not a legitimate government. All the things you said. Do you still stand by them, or you had a change of heart?
They are irrelevant.
They are irrelevant. So the question is, you are not a man of convictions. Because if you said those things out of your convictions, then, so your convictions change?
So here, every day, wike, and at the end of the day, you people sat and nominated him as the best minister. So you are not a station of conviction.
Anyway, it's not Arise that nominated you. It is this day that nominated him.
This day,
secondly, you are saying you don't have convictions. That's what you're saying.
You don't have conviction, wike, and then you came together and
okay. After watching that interview, one thing became very clear. Daniel Bwala came prepared for battle. Many people expected him to struggle under Rufai Oseni's pressure, especially considering the mountain of old criticism hanging over his head. But instead of avoiding the tough questions, Bwala faced them directly. And that alone is something that immediately changed the tone of the interview. Most politicians today try to dodge difficult interviews, especially on platforms known for hard questioning. But Bwala willingly walked into the fire. What made this interview even more interesting was the strategy Rufai Oseni used throughout the conversation. Rufai did not simply ask ordinary political questions. He kept returning to Bwala's old statements. trying to establish whether the presidential aide had contradicted himself. In many ways, Rufai wanted viewers to decide whether Bwala genuinely changed his political position because of new understanding or whether he simply switched sides because power changed hands. That was the central issue hanging over the entire interview. And to be honest, this is the exact reason why the interview is already generating reactions online. Nigerians are tired of politicians changing positions overnight without explanation. People remember old interviews. Social media never forgets. So when someone strongly attacks a government today and later joins that same government tomorrow, Nigerians naturally want answers. But Daniel Bwala attempted to explain this by arguing that politics is dynamic. According to him, understanding governance from a closer perspective can change someone's position on certain issues. He tried to present himself as someone who matured politically rather than someone who betrayed his earlier beliefs. Whether viewers accepted that explanation or not is another matter entirely, but you could see that he came ready to defend that point repeatedly. Another major moment during the interview was the confidence Bwala displayed. Many viewers noticed that he never appeared intimidated, even when Rufai raised difficult questions. Instead, he responded calmly most of the time and occasionally pushed back strongly. That confidence alone changed the balance of the conversation. Because once a guest becomes nervous, the interviewer usually controls the entire atmosphere. But here, both men were fully engaged in the battle of ideas. Rufai Oseni also deserves credit because he represented the kind of journalism many Nigerians want to see. He asked questions ordinary citizens have been asking on social media for months. He challenged inconsistencies. He revisited old statements. He refused to allow vague political answers to pass easily. Whether people agree with Rufai's style or not, one thing nobody can deny is that he knows how to create accountability during interviews. And this is why many people compared the session to the famous Hassan Mehdi treatment. That phrase has now become popular online whenever a public figure faces sustained pressure during an interview. Rufai clearly wanted Daniel Bwala to explain himself thoroughly instead of escaping through political talking points. But beyond the drama, there was also a deeper political message inside this interview. Daniel Bwala repeatedly defended the Tinubu administration and attempted to convince viewers that the government's policies are designed for long-term benefits. This is important because the Tinubu administration continues to face criticism over economic hardship, inflation, and the cost of living in Nigeria. So when someone like Bwala appears publicly to defend government policies, many Nigerians listen carefully because they want explanations for what they are experiencing daily. At the same time, Rufai represented public frustration. His questions reflected the anger and confusion many citizens feel. Nigerians are struggling economically. So whenever government officials appear on television defending policies, journalists naturally push hard for answers. That tension between government defense and public frustration was visible throughout the entire interview. Another interesting observation was how Daniel Bwala tried to separate political criticism from personal hatred. He suggested that disagreement with Tinubu in the past did not mean permanent opposition forever. In politics, alliances change, interests evolve, and people move based on new realities. That is a common argument in Nigerian politics. We have seen politicians criticize one another heavily and later become allies. However, the problem Nigerians usually have is consistency. Citizens want to know whether politicians truly believe what they say, or whether statements are made simply for political convenience. That is why Rufai kept bringing back old clips and comments. He wanted viewers to judge whether Bwala's explanations matched his past words. One thing viewers cannot ignore is the entertainment value of the interview itself. Nigerian political interviews have increasingly become major media events because people enjoy seeing powerful individuals challenged publicly. The back-and-forth exchanges, the sharp interruptions, the attempts to corner each other verbally, all of these create television moments that trend quickly online. And Arise TV has built a reputation around that style of political engagement. The chemistry between Rufai Oseni and Daniel Bwala made this interview even more compelling because neither side wanted to surrender ground. Rufai pushed aggressively while Bwala countered strongly. It almost felt like two political gladiators entering an arena with millions watching. Many viewers will probably leave the interview with different conclusions. Supporters of the Tinubu government may feel Daniel Bwala defended himself successfully and explained his political movement well. Critics of the administration may feel Rufai exposed contradictions and forced uncomfortable truths into the open. That division is expected because Nigerian politics today is deeply polarized. But regardless of political affiliation, the interview succeeded in doing one important thing. It sparked conversation. People are talking again about political loyalty, accountability, consistency, and the role of media in democracy. Those are healthy conversations for any democracy because leaders and political appointees should always be prepared to explain their actions publicly. Another thing worth mentioning is Bwala's statement that he is never afraid to appear on Arise TV. That line alone carried weight because Arise TV is widely known for asking difficult questions. By openly embracing the platform despite expected criticism, Bwala attempted to project confidence and political courage. That confidence may also explain why he remained composed during most of the heated exchanges. Instead of becoming defensive emotionally, he tried to argue intellectually and politically. Whether his arguments convinced viewers depends largely on individual political beliefs. The interview also exposed how important media memory has become in modern politics. Years ago, politicians could make statements and expect people to forget. But today, old videos, tweets, interviews, and speeches remain online forever. Journalists like Rufai Oseni now use those archives as political evidence during interviews. And honestly, that changes everything. Politicians must now think carefully before making absolute statements because those words can return years later. Daniel Bwala experienced exactly that during this interview. Rufai repeatedly pulled from the past to test present loyalty. For younger viewers especially, this interview offered a lesson in political communication. It showed how public figures attempt to manage perception, explain transitions, and defend controversial decisions under pressure. It also demonstrated how experienced interviewers use persistence and preparation to challenge powerful guests. At the end of the day, whether you support Rufai Oseni or Daniel Bwala, one thing is certain. This interview delivered exactly what viewers expect from Nigerian political television. Tension, accountability, strong arguments, emotional moments, and national conversation. And judging by reactions already spreading online, this interview will remain one of the most talked about political media moments for days to come. And when you look deeper into the entire conversation, you begin to realize that this interview was bigger than just Rufai Oseni versus Daniel Bwala. It was actually a reflection of the larger political mood currently dominating Nigeria. Citizens are becoming more politically conscious, more demanding, and less willing to accept rehearsed political answers without scrutiny. That is why interviews like this now trend faster than ever before. The average Nigerian watching at home was not just interested in who won the argument. People were listening carefully for sincerity. Nigerians want to know if politicians truly stand by principles or if loyalty changes depending on who controls power at a particular moment. That suspicion was hanging heavily over Daniel Bwala throughout the entire interview. And to be fair, Bwala understood the assignment. You could tell from the beginning that he anticipated those attacks from Rufai Oseni. He knew his past criticisms of Tinubu would return to haunt him the moment he accepted a role inside the administration. So rather than denying his previous comments, he attempted to reframe them. He tried to position himself as someone whose perspective evolved over time rather than someone who abandoned his principles. That is a very important distinction in politics, because once a politician is seen as opportunistic, public trust drops immediately. So Bwala spent a lot of energy trying to convince viewers that his decision was based on national and understanding of governance rather than personal ambition. Whether Nigerians accepted that explanation is still up for debate, but strategically, that was clearly the angle he wanted to push. Another thing that made this interview powerful was the emotional intensity in the studio. At several moments, you could almost feel the pressure through the screen. Rufai Oseni was relentless. He kept interrupting whenever he felt Bwala was moving away from the core issue. That aggressive style forced Bwala to stay alert every second. But surprisingly, Bwala did not lose composure. That was one of the biggest takeaways from the interview. Many political guests become visibly uncomfortable when faced with repeated confrontations. Some start avoiding eye contact. Others begin giving vague answers or trying to laugh away difficult questions. But Daniel Bwala stayed engaged throughout. He answered directly more often than many viewers expected. This is why reactions online are divided. Some viewers believe Rufai Oseni successfully exposed contradictions in Bwala's political journey. Others believe Bwala handled himself well under pressure and defended his position intelligently. In reality, both men accomplished something important during the interview. Rufai satisfied viewers who wanted accountability. Bwala satisfied supporters who wanted strong defense of the administration. And honestly, that balance is what made the interview successful television. Another major point worth analyzing is the role of media personalities in shaping political narratives today. Journalists like Rufai Oseni have become extremely influential because they represent public frustration in real time. Many Nigerians feel powerless politically, so when they see journalists asking hard questions on national television, they feel represented. That explains why clips from these interviews spread rapidly online. People want to see authority challenged. They want leaders and government representatives questioned aggressively about promises, contradictions, and national issues. Rufai has built a strong reputation around that style, and this interview reinforced it again. However, there is another side to the discussion. Some viewers believe journalists should sometimes reduce confrontational tones and allow guests more space to explain complex issues fully. Critics of aggressive interviewing argue that excessive interruptions can make interviews feel more like political battles than opportunities for detailed understanding. And honestly, you could see traces of that argument in this interview too. At certain points, both men were speaking passionately over each other because neither wanted to surrender the conversation. That created intense television drama, but it also meant some explanations became rushed or fragmented. Still, for many Nigerians, that tension is exactly what keeps political interviews engaging. Because let's face reality, calm and overly polite interviews rarely trend online anymore. The audience wants energy, confrontation, and accountability. They want visible pressure. They want guests pushed beyond prepared talking points. And that is exactly what happened here. One thing I personally noticed during the interview was how Daniel Bwala repeatedly tried to redirect the conversation toward governance and policy rather than personality. Whenever Rufai focused heavily on old statements, Bwala attempted to move the discussion toward what the Tinubu administration is currently doing. That was a deliberate strategy, because politically, it is easier to defend current achievements than endless debates about past comments. Bwala wanted viewers focused on economic reforms, government direction, and policy explanations, rather than only political consistency. But Rufai refused to let go of the central contradiction. And honestly, that persistence is what made the interview feel almost like a courtroom cross-examination at times. Rufai kept returning to the same core issue from different angles, almost trying to pin Bwala down permanently on his past criticism. This is where experience became obvious on both sides. Rufai showed experience as an interviewer. Bwala showed experience as a political communicator. Neither man entered the conversation unprepared. Another fascinating aspect of the interview was body language. Nigerian viewers pay close attention to body movement during political interviews. People observe facial expressions, eye contact, confidence levels, pauses, and reactions. Throughout the session, Bwala maintained relatively steady composure, which helped him avoid appearing cornered completely. That matters a lot in media appearances. Sometimes viewers judge confidence more than actual content. A politician who appears calm under pressure often gains public sympathy even when facing difficult questions. Bwala seemed aware of this and controlled himself carefully. At the same time, Rufai projected determination and intensity consistently. His tone communicated seriousness. He clearly wanted viewers to know he would not allow political evasions without challenge. That energy shaped the atmosphere from beginning to end. The interview also highlighted something deeper about Nigerian politics: the increasing collapse of permanent political enemies. In Nigeria today, alliances shift constantly. Politicians who criticize each other fiercely today may become partners tomorrow. That reality confuses many citizens because ideological consistency often appears weak in the political system. Daniel Bwala became the perfect example of that discussion during this interview. His movement from critic to defender created a dramatic storyline that Rufai naturally explored aggressively. But beyond Bwala alone, the conversation reflected a broader Nigerian political culture where loyalty and alignment can change rapidly. And this is why citizens now rely heavily on media archives and old interviews. People want receipts. They want proof. They want politicians held accountable for previous positions. Social media has intensified this culture because every statement now lives permanently online. A comment made years ago can return instantly during a live interview. That reality has transformed modern political communication completely. Another important observation is that Daniel Bwala never completely rejected his previous criticisms. Instead, he attempted to contextualize them. That was smart politically because outright denial would have been impossible considering the availability of old clips and statements. So rather than pretending he never criticized Tinubu, he argued that political understanding evolves with time and experience. Whether that argument is convincing depends on individual viewers, but strategically, it was probably his strongest available defense. Meanwhile, Rufai Oseni understood that ordinary Nigerians struggle with economic hardship daily, so he framed many of his questions around trust and credibility. If a government representative previously criticized these same policies or leadership style, then citizens naturally want explanations for the change. That emotional undercurrent gave the interview extra power. Because beyond politics, Nigerians are dealing with real economic challenges. Inflation, fuel costs, food prices, and financial pressure have made citizens more impatient with political language. So interviews involving government defenders automatically attract intense scrutiny. And honestly, this is why Arise TV continues dominating political conversation spaces in Nigeria. The platform understands how to create discussions that resonate emotionally and politically with viewers. Their presenters ask questions many citizens are already debating online. By the end of the interview, one thing became undeniable. Daniel Bwala remains one of the most confident defenders of the Tinubu administration currently appearing in Nigerian media spaces. Agree or disagree with him, he clearly enjoys confrontation and does not shy away from hostile interviews. That alone separates him from many political figures who avoid difficult platforms completely. At the same time, Rufai Oseni once again reinforced his image as one of the toughest political interviewers in Nigerian broadcasting today. Love him or criticize him, he consistently creates moments people talk about nationally. And maybe that is the biggest reason this interview exploded online so quickly. It combines politics, accountability, tension, personality clashes, media pressure, public frustration, and ideological debate all inside one explosive television moment. For viewers, it was impossible to look away.